Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I might be gay, but I don't know because my gaydar is not very well tonight. But we do have a great after show here on AfterBuzz TV for Shameless. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Phil, I'm glad that you feel comfortable enough to, talk about your sexuality with us. Thank you.
Well, there you go. I gotta talk about things I may or may not know. I've never experimented.
Well, you and Kevin have that in common, so when we talk about him, we'll get a little bit deeper into it, okay?
Sounds good.
Where can everybody find you on social media if they want to learn more about your personal life?
At Phil Svitek.
What's up, Juliet?
What's up, guys? Hard to beat that, but you can follow me on Instagram at Bonjour Juliet.
Amazing. Hi, JJ.
Hi, guys. You can follow me at Jurgens and jj.jurgens on Instagram.
And you guys can follow me at Hayley Clover everywhere. And glad we're all back again this week. Overall reactions of the show.
Great episode. great episode. I laughed. I got stressed at certain points, but it was just like an overall. I mean, there were some dark moments for sure, but yeah, Shameless. They make you go through it all, huh?
JJ, what do you think?
I can't lie on this one. Like, I liked it, enjoyed it, but I won't say that it was my favorite episode.
Here's my thing with it, right? With an episode like this, I thought we're finally getting to the meat of it. We're getting all the episodes coming together, but usually we can follow the course over like a couple of days, maybe a week. This was literally a singular day.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
That's very true. I think I'm more with JJ on this one, but it also, my feelings could be because of the scenes for next week, and I think that affected how I then felt about this episode, because I was like, oh crap, now I kind of see where it's going, and I don't know if I like that. But let's dive a little bit into this episode. Let's start with Debbie. Debbie, it's like deja vu with this girl. We're doing it all over again. We didn't know where she was going to end up after taking ecstasy and seeing her kind of drive off, and we see her wake up in bed with the hair guy. That's like how I remember him. He's the hair guy. And Phil has a problem if we like play with anything on the desk. I just have to throw that out there if you caught that moment. It's okay.
I want us to be focused on Missouri. We got to Missouri.
Okay, so go ahead. We're in Missouri, and she needs the morning after pill. It's long story short, she could be pregnant again.
Well, a couple of quick things. The good news is no harm has come to the child.
Yes, Randy is okay.
We've done the complete opposite. We're about to gain a child.
But here's my question with that. So we watched the clock go from 68 or whatever, right? And then as soon as he says, "Oh wait, we had sex on Tuesday or Friday," Thursday, sorry, whatever night, it drops down to 30, right? So she doesn't remember having sex. Like, how'd she take care of the baby? She doesn't remember. Like, there's a lot at 30 hours in there that she didn't even remember having sex. So
yeah, I know. And the baby's in a bathtub, which at least it had some pillows. I was glad to see it wasn't just like laying in the bathtub. But you're right. Hopefully, it was one of the other guys that's with the group. Maybe.
I feel like the gay guy would have been great at this.
That's true. That's probably what happened.
Yeah.
But the good thing was, yes, the baby.
She's okay.
She's fine. Yes.
She's okay. So what do we think about this whole, situation with Debbie now having to get the pill? Like, do we like the idea of her having another pregnancy? Are we like over that and want to see her move on? Like, what do you think is...
Well, I'm proud. I feel like, she was so adamant on wanting to get pregnant at such a young age. Now she's like, okay, I've been there, done that, not for a while. And she really is focused on, like she said, her job and, like, trying to better herself as a person. So I'm all for it.
All for the pill.
All for the pill.
Okay. JJ.
I totally agree. I was very proud of her this episode, because I know I was kind of saying I was disappointed in her a few episodes before about not being responsible. So at least I liked that she woke up and was determined that she was going to do what felt she needed to do for this. So I appreciate that. I thought it was also good timing with everything that's going on in the country right now and the issues that our current presidency is bringing with women's rights, and how to me, I mean, I know we talk personal beliefs, it's shameless, but I believe she's old enough to make that decision for herself. She should not have to be having somebody else,
It was interesting that she had to be a certain age. What was it, 17 in Missouri? And she's almost 17. Yeah, it was interesting because I remember when the pill was, I think it's over the counter now. I've never bought it, so I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it is over the counter now, but it used to be where you had to ask the pharmacist and, kind of go through the embarrassing moment of asking the pharmacist for Plan B.
I think what this episode showed us is that depending on the state you're in, it's different, and there's different laws, and it is getting harder and harder in certain places. And yeah, that was interesting. Even I grew up in Paris, and the pill's free, 100% free, if you're under 18.
Okay. Well, to be honest, it makes sense. Like, you don't want people that aren't ready or, don't feel responsible enough to have a child. If you don't want that to happen, give them an option at least before they have to go to the next option.
Exactly.
Whatever. It just seems like.
That's why I loved her reaction. She goes, "But that's stupid." Like
it makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, very true. What did you think about the hair guy's reaction to all of this? That kind of bothered me a little bit because he was just so lax about it. It was like, yeah, well, I tried to pull out. Like, I don't know. Well, from a guy's perspective, what did you think of that response?
Overall, I mean, obviously a terrible response. Overall, as far as this, I mean, I guess the points that you guys are bringing up are good. As far as the overall plot lines, I felt this was just kind of shoehorned in there. So it wasn't my favorite storyline, but I do see what you guys are bringing up, so I appreciate it now more.
Oh, thanks, Phil. That was all JJ. That wasn't me. I'm not taking credit for that. Okay. Well, yeah. So, I mean, it's another one of those things. I did have it was kind of funny to see those two fighting, Debbie and the woman that tried to steal her money. But it got to the point at the end when you kind of understood why the lady took her money, because she wanted her to keep the baby because she couldn't have kids. And it was a moment where I was like, oh, that's kind of sad. Like that does kind of stink.
Yeah, she still stole her money.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like saying she was right in that, but I kind of then understood a little bit. I still probably would have done the same thing, chased her down and punched her in the face.
I feel like in that situation, if you really wanted to send a message, she would have told her right off the bat.
Instead of taking the money?
Right.
Yeah, she was going to sneak off, and then what? What would have happened? How would she get the message?
Yeah,
exactly. True. Very true. She should have been like, you have options, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
No, she's just a thief.
Okay, fair enough. So the throuple is back in full effect. I would like everyone's reactions because I've said it before already this season. I'm just over the throuple. I don't need it anymore. And I kind of think we saw a little bit today that Kev is kind of over it too. So what do you guys feel like?
It's about damn time. It's about damn time. I can't believe they've been able to go this long without someone's feelings getting, hurt or in the way. But I totally agree. I feel like I've seen this storyline so much. I've seen these sex scenes so many times. I get it. It's just
and I was actually even thinking that because I was like, sometimes these sex scenes they're funny or whatever, and they are interesting or fun to watch. And I look at these now, and I'm kind of just like, yeah, okay, great. She's down there eating her out again. How many times can I possibly see that? We get it. She's good with her tongue. It's like, okay, I'm over it. Phil, you're not over that.
Never over it.
No, but seriously, what do you think about this whole relationship?
I thought it did bring about a good notion of Kev and V ultimately coming together, so it did advance in a different way, because in the past Kev would have been totally fine with it. Now, part of me just loves that Kev goes out and tries to, bless his heart, it all... never have we seen someone be that upset for not being gay. And honestly, just feeling that emotion of I can't believe I'm not gay or even part gay.
Yeah.
And so the level of depth he went to, as he says, I was just jealous. And therefore that speaks to that side of it, that he was hurt by it. I hope this dominance thing works out, but as V points out, you're really not understanding it. Just tell me what to do. Just tell me. Right,
which is the opposite of being dominated. Right. Right. Do you think that's going to work out? I mean, we see a scene for next week. Kev is in his,
full-on gear.
Which, by the way, Kev has had probably the best costumes in the show. That poor guy gets put into everything. Well, so does V. She started the show out with nipple tassels. Yeah. And we've said before, is a rockin' bod. She looks amazing. But, yeah, he is putting some seriously compromising outfits.
He loves it, though. I feel like that actor just loves it and lives for it.
Yeah. So what do you think?
I hope he can't. Like, for me, it just makes me, at this point, I'm with you guys. Like, I'm sad just because I love Kev and V together, you know? And I just see her getting increasingly not disappointed in him, but just like him not fulfilling her, you know?
Right.
And like the look she was giving him tonight was just, I think, a different look even than we've seen before. And then when she said, "You're just not getting it," you know, I just feel like, I don't want to see them. I don't want to see them apart. So I don't know that dressing up like that is gonna turn her on like that, because I don't know that that's what she needs. Like she said, she just needs her to let, you know, you just
Right.
need, I don't know, to take control in a different way, you know. And so I don't know. I hope they turn it around. I like them together.
I mean, they used to do role play and dress up
Yeah.
like all the time, and that's kind of when we started to get to know them. That was like their thing, and they taped it for like to make money.
Yeah.
And it was, you know, it was hysterical until Svetlana comes in and shows her like a totally different world of sexual opportunities, and now it's kind of like, I guess, how do you go back from the spasgasm? Once you've had one, it's like, how are you supposed to go back to a normal orgasm?
Well, I think it's that, but also, it's going back to the Kentucky thing, part of it could be that Kev's diminished in a way, because as far as Svetlana's concerned, she always matches V in an intellectual sense, even in the bedroom. Like, it's all mind games, right? That's what the dominance the dominance part of it comes from, is that sense of, wow, you're better than me, both in business and the bedroom. This, you know so much stuff, and V just wants to kind of intake that in all forms.
Yeah,
Right.
I think that's right.
Do you feel that she has to take care of Kev so much in certain ways? I mean, they do take care of each other, but do you think that what attracts her, that she can be taken care of in a way?
Yeah, I think so. And even if it wasn't Kev, just like her whole life is always trying to, you know, there's never any type of security or any type of, like you said, somebody just taking care of everything, or, you know, the ability to take care of everything. If she was just like, Svetlana, I'm just letting you do everything, she could.
Right.
And I think it's somewhat that ability that turns her on too.
Well, it's funny. The funny part about Kev is, as soon as he says what he's going to do, she knows in the back of her mind, like, this is ridiculous, and this is only going to end one way. He's going to learn that he's not gay.
Right.
But like a child that just has this tantrum, she has to let him go off and do this. And yeah, he comes back, I'm not gay.
Right.
Yeah.
I do love how open their relationship is, though. Not the sexual openness necessarily, but like their ability to not judge each other for their, you know, thoughts and emotions, and be able to talk about it and still love each other. Like that, I do and always have love about, you know, those two.
Right. They're such an open book.
Yeah.
They're a real team.
Yeah.
And I don't know, but I don't think I've ever seen any kind of other couple like that on television. They're definitely unique when it comes to
For
the
sure.
show.
And I think even when they come in as guests, they kind of talk like that, how they're, you know, they feel like that even not on set. They've just grown into a family over the last 8 seasons. Go for
Don't
it.
mind
Cough
me,
over
man.
there.
We got the fires here, and I'm like, I'm gonna get a throat lozenge.
Go for it.
Because
You
the
do you.
one day we don't have water out here, I'm dying.
That's because Phil keeps taking everything away from us. It's in the front of our
Phil.
hands.
Sorry, guys.
Just kidding. That's okay. Get better, JJ. And come back when you're ready. Okay, so
Sorry, guys.
you're totally fine. We'll keep talking without you. So yeah, I mean the throuple. That's pretty much like we're just gonna have to kind of see how it goes next week. There's really nothing else to talk about. So let's move on to Frank and Liam, the duo. These guys have been together since the beginning of this season. Frank taking care of Liam the best way he knows how. And we see that Frank gets his credit card in today.
Big spender.
Yeah, he says that he's now part of, you know, the middle class, and he's got his credit card, and he seems to discover Amazon, and, you know, their same-day shipping, which who doesn't love Amazon?
Here's the thing, it's very poetic, because the thing that he feels like frees him ultimately destroys him.
It did. It took his job away.
Yeah, they took his job. They took his job.
Which is happening in real life as well.
Yeah.
Amazon is just totally capitalizing on everything. Yes, that's a discussion for another time. But, so yeah, Frank buys a car online. No payments down, no payments for 3 months. I'd love to know what the actual car price was. Like, that would have been great.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering. I'm like, how much money is he really making? But at the same time, I don't think he has many bills because he lives in that house. Like, he does. Frank doesn't have bills.
Also, by the way, what the hell is his credit limit?
Right. To be
Like, I have really good credit, and I have like a small credit limit. So I don't know where the hell he's getting that kind of credit limit to buy a car. Like that to me was a little unrealistic. I did like seeing him in a suit, though. It's really nice seeing Frank dressed up.
With the sunglasses, out to pick up some hoes.
Yeah. Oh, that was funny. I even said, "Oh, I hope it's ho-hos." Do you think that if he walked into school with the suit on, the women would have liked him as much? Because I liked that he was dirty and kind of like the opposite of their husbands. That would have been kind of funny to see, too.
Yeah. It'd be funny to see now, though, because I think since they saw him dirty, then I think this would even take him to another level. Because I thought he looked good. You know?
I thought he looked good, too. But I think, they'd be still really into that because it's not like he's driving an extremely expensive car. Like, the suit fit but wasn't great, super tailored. Like, he still has that grungy, like not put together look, and so I think that these women are going to be attracted to him no matter what.
Yeah, that was a funny opening of the show. He was the one asking you what the fuck you missed last week as those two were still having sex. That was kind of funny. So what do we think about Frank losing his job? Like, where does this take him now? And feel free to talk about the scenes that you saw from next week, because we saw that he's at the bar. Is he drinking again?
I don't think he's drinking. This is his first setback, and it'll be interesting to see how he really reacts to it. Because especially, they've been tying in Liam into the storyline, and so everyone's been affected by Frank. Now this is the make or break for Liam, and hopefully he tries to do the right thing in this scenario. The fact that he did get a car, I'm kind of bummed about, because they were lessening the carbon footprint. Walking's good, and so I liked that lesson actually. I didn't mind it. Whereas he was too quick to say, "Oh, we're poor," and just go with that since that's what Liam said, and he didn't want to seem lesser in Liam's eyes.
Right.
But hey,
what do you guys think?
Maybe he got a hybrid. We don't know, Phil.
I mean,
it's a Chevy something, right?
I know. Does Chevy make a hybrid?
Someone
will know. One of you guys will
wish
know.
that he would have. If he was going to get the car, and actually be responsible and buy a little old used beater car. Like you have to do, like to go and charge a brand new car on the credit card.
Or get a Tesla.
Happen.
No emissions.
Yeah, if you're going to buy a car on your credit card, just do it. Buy a car. No, I was glad that it wasn't actually like a really nice car, because that could have been a total Frank move too.
Right.
He did buy an economy car, a compact car.
But that's still like probably what, $14,000?
Yeah. Probably
Eddie could have
more.
bought a good used one for
Chevys are
$2.
expensive.
Right? Like most of us have to do when we're like starting out. I remember. Yeah. So I would have liked to see him do the responsible thing and do that instead of, going for the brand new car.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I want to see I got to look at the scenes from last week, because I couldn't tell from the side I was at. I couldn't tell if he had a drink in front of him or not. I thought it looked like he did, but I don't know.
You can see shots of some kind of dark liquor, but you don't know whether it's his or the guys that are always there, and it totally could not be his. But he's also talking like old Frank, like society has screwed the white man and blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. So I'm like, oh no. And I'll be totally honest, I don't want to see that Frank again. I'm like not ready for that Frank to come back yet.
And
Eventually,
I think that's lazy
maybe.
writing.
Yeah, it's like really again, like okay, I just feel like I'm seeing things that I've already seen.
Yeah,
I don't need to see him like that again.
Exactly. And I don't know. I don't think they're going to do that, because they're kind of doing that in a way with the throuple storyline. Like Phil's saying, it is really lazy writing if you have another storyline that we've seen throughout this point, all seasons. I think it's just a setback for him. I think we're going to see him off on another adventure, and definitely it's still in the working market. I guess I have hope for Mr. Francis.
If you guys had to see Frank in another job in town, what job would you want to see him do?
I have 3.
Oh, okay, save them. What were you going to say?
What if he becomes a bartender for Kevin V?
Okay.
I've never seen him on the other side.
1, can they pay him? And 2, is that a temptation for his drinking?
Yes, but maybe he'd be great at it. I feel like he'd be
a good bartender for sure, because he loves to talk it up.
Exactly, because they're, he's a therapist in a way sometimes. To
He
people at
is.
the bar.
Okay, Phil, you're 3.
Well,
I'm thinking, the only thing I mean, he could help. Lyndon wouldn't get paid very much, but I mean, he could work helping out the youth, mentoring them. Since
Which
he's
he
been
totally
there and
thinks he
he's
can
done all
do.
this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other jobs. I don't see him in the diner.
I do see him
Fixing up Fiona's place.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe. Definitely more involved with Liam's school also.
What if
Yeah.
he became a teacher at the school?
Maybe, I don't know if he
Alternative
could add,
programming.
released in the library or something.
Because,
like,
even though he would need, all of his schooling and whatever to be a teacher, I could totally see that school being like, listen, the parents have spoken, they really like you, we're going to have you just do an after-school program or something.
or maybe he teaches the class that teaches, their lifestyle, so the words that,
Right.
Liam
Anyone
didn't
at
know on the
South
test.
Side would be learning
so then
growing up.
So
Exactly.
that way, all the little kids can write penis on their
Yes.
tests.
Exactly.
And, she's sniffing glue. It wasn't a wrong answer.
it wasn't.
Phil,
Yeah, what you got,
what's your
Phil?
3? I want to hear.
Well, so a lot of them involve business with Carl. Okay. So
Okay.
he takes over Uber. Or however
Uber.
Tubies.
he takes over the sober cleansing business.
Okay.
The beaver trap detox.
Because Carl, remember, he's going to be off to school soon. And the third, I don't know, just get paid to have sex with the women of the
He prostitutes himself.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, he's apparently that good.
Interesting. Yeah, that would be fun. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, Ian and Fiona are fighting still. Ian is really hurt, really upset. Is that a warranted response? Do you think he's overreacting? What are your opinions on how Ian is reacting, or how Fiona is reacting? Whose side do you take in this argument?
See, this is a tough question. They've been marketing it like Fiona versus Ian, but it's not just like a sibling fight. It's a philosophical fight of how do you essentially get out of the ghetto?
Right.
Are you allowed to all of a sudden then turn your back and focus, not be a narcissist, but just want to better yourself versus
Do you think she turned her back on Ian?
No, not at all.
Seriously,
It's
just
tough.
an honest opinion. It's not wrong either way. I tend to think that, or I side with Fiona more on this one. I think she really has been working her ass off to get herself to a better place, and I think she had full intentions of helping her family as well once she was making money, which would then, help Ian. I think Ian saying it's all about the kids is a little unfair because it's all about getting back with
Trevor.
Right. And that was definitely a big part of it, not just helping these kids. Definitely helping the kids, but I think that had a little bit more to do with it emotionally than he's letting on.
100% agree. I was wondering if Fiona would bring that up when
I
they
know,
were
I'm
fighting
surprised she
each
hasn't.
other. I was like, I don't know what side I'm on. I think it's a tough one. I'm on Fiona's side because you just want her to win. She's done.
You want someone to win eventually, right? It's
Yeah.
like someone's got to frickin' win.
Think of all the battles she's had to fight in the last 8 seasons, and now she's finally fighting battles, to better herself. That's just great. In a way, Liam's doing the same thing because not Liam, Ian is doing the same thing because he's finding growth out of helping these kids as well.
Right.
So it's a tough one, man. It's really tough.
Do you think it's impossible for them to find another shelter? Maybe Fiona could say, listen, please help me, continue to make my business successful, and I will help you find another shelter. It's not like they don't have the money now to find another place.
Yeah, but it also depends on location. Like this, it's on the up and up. However,
So they can still get
afford
in
it.
there.
If you go anywhere where the other shelters are, all of a sudden, I doubt it's going to be that same price.
Right.
So I think that's the tough part.
Yeah.
What do we think about Helen, the dead lady? How about how we find Helen? Let's talk about that, because we were all like, what?
I was a little confused. Definitely knew she was dead. That was not confusing at all. As soon as Fiona walks in and she's just like, oh, that smell. And even before that, you're like, uh-oh, something's up. I was confused about the whole dog situation because you see that the woman's face down, butt naked, and her arm is just kind of cut off. But it's not really clear. The shot's not that clear. So I was like, did she slit her wrist? Like, what happened?
Right, like, how did she die?
How did she just died? And her dog started eating her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it had been a few days, they thought. I mean, I guess it could have been longer because Fiona never sees her. The dog needed to eat. Didn't have any food. So it went to the R.
I don't know. I'd like to think it wasn't the dog. I mean,
no, I don't think it was the dog that killed her. I think she just died, but the dog needed food, so he had to eat something.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Different theories.
What did you think something else happened?
What do you see, Phil?
I don't know. This is a crazy theory, but maybe she fell over and like broke her arm, and that's what created the slit. And the dog's just like, hey, my owner's dead. Like, I miss you, so I'm gonna just lick your hand. I don't know.
Yeah. So why would the dog only lick the bloody part though?
Because the dog's trying. He's trying to save the owner somehow.
Oh, the dog's trying to heal.
And dogs actually
the dog's totally just eating her arm. It's hungry.
Dogs like the blood. See, I didn't get the eating the arm thing. But I couldn't see again where I was at. I didn't know. I'm like, did she slit her wrist? What? I need to go back and look at it because I couldn't see what happened.
That dog was chomping on her arm. I'm telling you.
I don't think that was it either from the size of that dog, and I just think the licking the blood because if you have dogs like if I cut my leg shaving, like dog will like. Try to lick that. Like they're attracted to human blood. They just are. It's dog thing.
The worst bite to get are from those little doggies. They got those little.
So sweet.
And do you think it was actually her barking at Fiona, or do you think it was the dog?
Oh no, it was the lady. Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome. Fiona gets a little attached to, the pictures that she finds in the apartment, and it does make her really upset when the niece comes in that doesn't even know Helen and just literally is like scooping out the trash into a trash can.
Mm-hmm. I think she's upset, but she is understanding. Because when she walked in and she was seeing her throwing out the window the trash, I was worried. I was like, oh no, please don't make a scene. Like, don't make this weird. Just, and she was very understanding. She gets it's not her place. She understands that it's kind of like a normal reaction in a way.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if I found an apartment of somebody that I didn't have any type of relationship with and it was filled with newspapers and stuff, like, it would all be trash.
I mean, she was definitely a hoarder, but probably, I think, smells. Like, she's just trying to get, that made sense. I thought it was interesting that she was so attached to those pictures. Especially, did you see the duality between the niece explaining, like, yeah, we weren't in touch because the siblings got into a huge fight. So then it's like, uh-oh, Fiona.
Well, and she even said, a whole life not being able to forgive, and that's immediately then when she went over to Ian.
Right. So, I mean, they're still fighting at the end of this episode, and what it looks like they're going to be fighting even more in the next episode. But still, I hope that little picture frame is a reminder that, you know what, life is too short. Make amends.
Yeah, the Gallagher family has got to stick together.
They always
have.
They always will.
They will. Yeah, I agree. Okay, so let's talk about Lip and all of the entire, like, everyone that's drunk around him in his world. It kind of seems like he really is just now surrounded by other alcoholics that have fallen off the wagon. They try to track down, tell me his name again. I don't know. Brad. Oh my God, I was blanking on his name. They're looking for Brad this entire episode. We get some funny scenes where Brad has filled his car with donuts that he stole from a donut shop, and he severed the arm of Michael Jordan, which is like the biggest deal ever. But Lip is taking this very, personal, and like it's his job to now find Brad. Is that the right move for him? Because Ewens is telling him, don't do that. Right. It's gonna bring you down too.
I just don't really trust anything Ewan says in terms of his advice isn't really the best.
Yeah.
The only good advice he's had is when he pushed him to go to rehab. I don't know. I think both things. I think it's understandable but stressful, and that he is so codependent, and that's in a way that's his only hope. He's saying, if he can't make it, how can I?
Right.
So I don't like that idea that he has, because you want to remain positive and be like, no matter what comes your way, you can do this.
Right, and I feel like you'll never be able to totally kick sobriety if you think it's, somebody else that needs to help you do it. You got to help yourself do it.
Right, and it depends on that factor that he cannot control, and like a lot of things in life, we cannot control them.
Yeah.
This was actually one of my favorite moments of the whole episode. I like the dialogue between him and Jurgens. I thought the acting was amazing, and I just thought the way he always like, you could get that scene and make it like totally unbelievable or whatever, but I feel like right there you really do get his character. Like for him, this is, because you might think, oh, why does he really care? Why doesn't he just let them go? Why is he so invested? But you see why he is because that's who, if he doesn't make it, he won't, you know? And I think that's very real in those types of situations. I just think, I like seeing this for this character. I like seeing him still, you can tell he's still dealing with his demons and his issues and, you know, still kind of juggling a lot and his fears of what his life is going to be like. And even though he's brilliant, he still can't seem to quite get his life together and everything. And even when he's holding the baby, it's like, you can tell that now he's thinking about, man, I fucked up my relationship. I kind of maybe want a family. He's so good with them, but will he ever be able to have that because he's a drunk and he's this and he's that, you know? So I like to see this character fighting with all this internally, even though a lot of all that didn't come out. You could just see it, him dealing with it all.
I mean, he even makes a comment about how his life is worthless, and like kind of during that little monologue of his, like, you can really see how he actually thinks of himself, which he might not have verbalized in any other episode yet. And it's definitely like, oof, like that's sad.
It is. It gives him purpose to save him. So
that's exactly what it is.
It
He
is.
doesn't feel like he has a purpose.
And no matter where what do we all want? Everyone's always seeking validation. So that's giving him validation.
I like seeing Jurgens because we talked about it. We felt that storyline was dropped so heavily, and so to see Jurgens back in the picture, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we could have dropped a little couple of hints every now and then.
Yeah.
But I'm glad Jurgens is here.
Well, and Jurgens, like, it hasn't been that long. He was sober right away at the, this episode, which was a little surprising to me. It seemed like he was able to do that really quickly, which, I mean, I don't have any experience or, strong understanding of what it would be like to go through that. So maybe that is something that's possible, that for them to drink and go through a week of just total, destruction and then be like, what am I doing? And then, kick it.
Well, I don't know, because where do you get that? Do we know that he's sober?
Well, no, we don't.
Right?
But he's drinking coffee and he seems sober. I guess that was like the only reason I said that.
Yeah, he seems sober, but I feel like his face is still kind of like looks raggedy or beat up. You're right about the time. His arm's still broken, which, I mean, does take a while, but it looks like he was in that car wreck a few days ago.
Right.
So I just don't know if he is 100% sober. Just
it's
because
true. Maybe he's not.
Yeah, in the last episode that we saw him, at least, he was saying, yeah, you guys can come over, but I'm still drinking. Yeah. So I think there's still some process happening there.
Yeah. Well, we saw some scenes for next week. Let's talk about it a little bit. Give some predictions on what we think is happening.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
So let's talk about Jurgens, because we do see a scene of him from next week. Phil, where do you think his storyline is going?
Well, I think it answers your question overall. Was he sober? I think he got to a place where life was kind of okay for a little bit, but certainly once all of a sudden it's his court date, he's like, I don't want to face this. Boom, right back into it. And that's what we're going to see next week there. As far as Brad, I don't know. I think this will definitely be a struggle for the rest of the season with Jurgens, Brad, and Lip kind of somewhere in the middle. Yeah.
Any other different thoughts about Jurgens, or are we all on the same page as to what's happening there for next week anyway?
Yeah, on the same page. I think he's scared. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what about everything else that we saw? Does anybody have any serious predictions about what's happening? Next week will be episode 7, so we're definitely now in the middle of a season when we keep saying something's about to hit the fan, shit's about to hit the fan. Well, what is the shit?
Well, I do think I think the Debbie storyline was okay, the throuple storyline was okay, and I know we have to have these characters, we have to check in, but realistically, if you just had Frank, Fiona, and Ian, and Lip, and really just focused on those storylines, you can go through them a little bit faster, therefore have a little bit more meaning. because those are the storylines that I'm interested in most, and those are the hardest hitting ones. And I know we gotta have some comedy, but we talked about this last time. The previews tend to go a little bit more comedic versus showing us the depth that they're about to hit. And ultimately, we love this show because of the realness and the connections. So.
Yeah, I mean, with that said, I think probably Fiona and Ian are gonna give us the, deep emotion that we're kind of used to now at this time of the year. I can see that getting pretty nasty before it ever gets better. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's a tough one, man. I don't know. I think we're definitely gonna see the throuple not be a throuple. I really hope Kevin.
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm nervous that we might see Kevin V go through some really tough and trying times. They're so strong, and we always say that they have the best foundation, and they're gonna be a rock no matter what. I really think that that's gonna be really tested, and hopefully they make it.
Yeah. When was the last season that we saw them go through?
That was, remember, they were sort of breaking up.
Yes. What do you remember? What season? I mean, that was a pretty long time ago, right?
5 or 6.
So they've done it before and gotten through it. So hopefully they can do it again. JJ, do you have any predictions? You don't have to. You need another throat lozenge?
I still got it in here. Sorry, guys. I just think mainly next week it is going to be about the Fiona Ian thing, and I predict that the youth home is going to win out in the end.
Oh, you do? You think they're going to be in the church?
I do.
Okay, that's a good prediction.
Going with that.
All right.
Yeah.
What do you think? You think that?
Well, we see that they have they're camping out in front of Fiona's building, and that's just taking it a little bit too far.
Is that showing the right message to the kids he's trying to help? No, I don't think so. Very shameless of him, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, next week, episode 7. Let's expect some
tears.
Some tears. Definitely some probably jaw-dropping moments.
That'll be our last episode of the year for us, right?
For a while, for holiday. Yeah,
we'll
holiday break. Yep.
But we will be back.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
We'll be back for sure. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure that you're commenting below on YouTube so that we can keep talking to you about the episode. We love seeing your, your predictions and your thoughts on the episode. And if you haven't already, subscribe to AfterBuzz. There's a lot of other shows that you could be watching if you watch more TV. JJ is on one of them, Tom Girl TV on AfterBuzz. Look that up.
Tuesday, 6 p.m.
Tuesday, 6 p.m.?
Yeah, and you can follow that at Tom Girl TV.
Awesome. Where can they find you on your personal social?
Personal at JJ Jurgens and Jurgens.com. What am I saying? There's JJJurgens.com, but JJ.Jurgens on Instagram. Oh,
just man. Search JJ Jurgens on Google.
Everywhere. Rough
you
night.
You did it.
I know. I'm in a cloud of literally anyway.
Oh my god.
It's okay. It's fine.
You can find me on Instagram at Bonjour Juliet.
At Phil Svitek.
And you can find me at Hayley Clover.
Real quick, I wanted to ask you what you thought of the pousseur.
Oh,
Was that French this evening? I've never heard the pousseur.
I'm sorry,
She
I
called her
referring.
pussy.
The pousseur.
The pousseur.
I think it's
Fiona
just it's definitely not. It's just it's fake French, if anything.
I liked it.
Leave it to JJ to just throw on the pussy right there at the end of the show.
I meant to
On
ask
that
French
note,
all
that's a
night.
good note to leave on. Guys, we will
You're
see
welcome.
you next week. Goodbye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.